Alright, in this video we're going to cover how to enlarge your design inside the machine or reduce your design. Now of course you can't do any editing to your designs while it's in embroidery mode, so you have to release the embroidery first. Cancel embroidery, hit your check mark. Second page up here is where we can do our design edit. Direction, if you want to change the direction, things like that. Scale size right here, 100 100. So you're going to change both scale sizes. Right now it's at 100 100. Let's say you want to make it 20% bigger. 120. Check mark to save it. Now it's 120 100. Now you want to do both scale sizes the same, otherwise it'll be out of proportion. 120 120. Now you're not going to notice a difference on screen per se here, but when you start to sew it out it will be 20% bigger. Golden rule is like 20-25%, so I wouldn't try anything like over the 25%. You're going to start getting into, possibly, if it's a smaller design and let's say you're trying to increase it 80% larger, your stitches are going to start separating the larger you go, and you're going to see your garment between your stitch. So the golden rule is like 25%. Same with reducing. So let me cancel this back out, come back into the second page here, 120 120. So if I want to reduce it 20%, I would go 80. Same with my Y scale, that's X, Y, 80. Now both are 80, 80. Back into embroidery mode. And again, you're not going to notice the difference here. It might show you here when you bring up your frame. So I'm just going to look at this at 80, 80, 20% smaller. Now I'm going to back out and make this bigger, and then compare it here. Back to 120. So it does show you in your frame parameter if you're using frames, because at 80 80 it was about this small. Now at 120 120 we're up to here, and it still fits inside this frame. So this is a good viewing tool. You can use your frame select, and when you increase or decrease your design you can come in here and view it. So as you can see, it's got the square parameter with the square frame. Alright, show you again here. That was at 120. Come back in and do this at 80. Back in, there we go. You can see how much smaller it is now inside this frame. So that's how you reduce design and increase your design in the machine. So golden rule is 25%. 20% is better, of course. 10%, you know, the smaller of your increase or decrease, the better. When you start going over 25%, if you're reducing, let's say you go 50%, what that's going to do is combine your stitches so much that you're going to probably start getting into bird nesting and a lot of issues with your sew outs. The machine does not compensate for those stitch counts. It does not clean up those stitches. Same with, like I was saying, if you enlarge it, it's going to start separating your stitches, and then you're going to start seeing the garment between your stitches that way. So stick within that 20%, 25% max, and you should be fine. And use your frames here. Gives you a good visual to see how much larger or smaller that you're making it in that frame. So there you go. Hope that helps with design reducing and enlarging on the machine. Blue Sky 1501.